Welcome to Flashback Daily. Today, we're taking a really fascinating journey through time in this cinematic explainer. You know, we often think of history as just a random collection of dates. But what if I told you that a single calendar day could act as a mirror, reflecting massive, interconnected shifts across all of human civilization? We're looking at exactly why the 17th of July completely changed history. From the ancient Roman Empire all the way to modern space exploration, the sheer volume of world-altering events that just happened to land on this specific date is absolutely mind-blowing.
History is shaped not only by wars and rulers, but also by ideas, discoveries, courage, and cooperation. I absolutely love this quote because it proves a crucial point. History isn't just a sterile list of monarchs and battles. It's this ongoing shared human narrative. As we unpack the events of July 17th together, you'll see exactly how philosophy, sports, science, and even sudden tragedy all weave together to build the reality we live in right now.
Part 1, Ancient and Medieval Turning Points. Okay, let's dive right into this. To really grasp the epic scale of this journey, we have to look at our earliest historical records. We're talking a timeline spanning 180 AD, 1429, 1918, 1945, 1975, and all the way to 2023. We are literally jumping from ancient empires to medieval kingdoms, through global wars, and straight up into modern spaceflight. And the common thread? Every single one of these pivotal moments took place on July 17th.
So our first stop is 180 AD. On this day, the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius died. Now, he was the ruler of one of the greatest empires in human history, and his passing was a massive turning point because it officially ended the era known as the Five Good Emperors. Basically, it marked the beginning of real instability for the Roman Empire. But his legacy didn't die with him. His personal writings collected in a little book called Meditations survived. And that book, it continues to shape ethics, leadership, and the philosophy of Stoicism that so many modern leaders still rely on today.
Fast forward a bit to the year 1429. On July 17th, Charles VII was crowned King of France in Reims Cathedral. But the story behind this is what makes it so incredible. This coronation was the direct result of a remarkable military campaign led by Joan of Arc. By fulfilling her mission, this single event fundamentally changed the course of the Hundred Years' War. It deeply strengthened French national identity, and Joan of Arc herself would later become one of the most revered figures in history.
Part 2. The fall of dynasties in the world at war. As we transition into the 20th century, the pacing of history dramatically accelerates. The world is getting more interconnected, meaning the geopolitical shifts happening now are sending shockwaves across the globe. 300. So, the crucial point here is, in 1918, during the Russian Revolution, Tsar Nicholas II, Empress Alexandra, and their children were executed by Bolshevik forces. This event, on July 17th, didn't just end over 300 years of the Romanov dynasty's rule. It completely cleared the path for the birth of the Soviet Union. It really stands as one of the most absolute defining moments of 20th century political history. Moving to 1936, July 17th marked the beginning of the Spanish Civil War, triggered by a military uprising against Spain's Republican government. This conflict essentially served as a brutal prelude, a testing ground for the weapons that would very soon be used in World War II. It also strengthened fascist influence across Europe and ultimately led to Francisco Franco's dictatorship, which lasted for nearly 4 decades. Just 9 years later, in 1945, the date strikes again. The Potsdam Conference opened near Berlin. Here, Allied leaders Harry S. Truman, Joseph Stalin, and Winston Churchill met up to decide the future of post-war Europe and figure out occupation policies for Germany. The decisions made on this exact day fundamentally reshaped Europe's borders. But as they negotiated the peace, they also inadvertently accelerated the very tensions that would lead directly into the Cold War. Part 3. Science, Space, and Culture. Okay, it's not all war and conflict though. Let's shift our narrative to human achievement, because the mid to late 20th century saw science and culture boldly blossom. Picture it, 1955, Walt Disney opened the gates of Disneyland in Anaheim, California. This wasn't just a new park. It was an absolute game changer in entertainment engineering. Disney completely revolutionized the global theme park industry and changed family entertainment forever with this colorful, innovative milestone on July 17th. And this brilliantly illustrates what happens when fierce competitors actually find common ground. On July 17, 1975, right at the height of the Cold War, the US and the Soviet Union launched the Apollo-Soyuz test project. This was the very first joint international human space mission. It was a massive symbol of unprecedented cooperation and honestly paved the way for the international space missions we see today. The very next year, on July 17, 1976, a perfect 10.0 made history. Romanian gymnast Nadia Comaneci scored the first ever perfect 10.0 in Olympic gymnastics. Her flawless performance didn't just win her a medal, it forever transformed and elevated the judging standards in the sport and inspired generations of athletes everywhere. Jumping ahead to 1989, human flight took another massive leap, this time in military technology. July 17th saw the maiden flight of the Northrop B-2 Spirit. This was a major technological advancement that completely revolutionized stealth military aviation on a global scale. Part 4. Tragedies and Global Justice. I'm going to lower the energy here respectfully because we also need to discuss how devastating late 20th and early 21st century tragedies directly forced some really significant global safety and justice reforms. We're looking at two separate events, exactly a decade apart. On July 17, 1996, TWA Flight 800 exploded shortly after takeoff from New York. This immense tragedy led directly to major improvements in aviation fuel tank safety. Exactly 10 years later, in 2006, a powerful undersea earthquake generated a tsunami affecting Java, Indonesia, killing hundreds. In the wake of this disaster, vital tsunami warning systems across the Indian Ocean were drastically improved.
In the realm of international justice, July 17, 1998 is a massive landmark. Delegates adopted the Rome Statute, officially establishing the International Criminal Court. This created the very first permanent international court strictly dedicated to prosecuting genocide, war crimes, and crimes against humanity.
Then, on July 17, 2014, another devastating aviation tragedy occurred. Malaysia Airlines flight MH17 was shot down over eastern Ukraine. 298 people lost their lives. This event severely heightened international tensions and immediately resulted in strictly enforced aviation security restrictions for commercial flights operating over conflict zones.
Part 5. A modern leap forward. Let's move to the present day and see how this builds our future, because the history of July 17th is still pushing us onward, quite literally into the stars.
Just recently, on July 17, 2023, India successfully launched the Chandrayaan-3 mission toward the moon. This launch marked India's determined return to lunar exploration. It boldly demonstrated their rapidly growing space capabilities and played a massive role in sparking a renewed global interest in returning to the cosmos. Now, what's really interesting about this recap is how it brings everything we've talked about together. Ranking these top 10 most world-changing events based on their global impact shows the immense ripple effects of a single day. At the top, the political earthquake of the Romanov execution, giving birth to the Soviet era. Right below it, the Potsdam Conference shaping the post-WW2 world. We've got space cooperation, international law, and global entertainment all wrapped up in one single calendar date. It beautifully maps out how our modern world was built. Which brings us to our final thought. We've seen how the actions, discoveries, and tragedies of a single day can echo for thousands of years. It makes you wonder, as we live our own lives right now, how will the events of our present day be viewed by history centuries from now? The timeline is still moving, and we are all a part of it. Thank you for joining me on this explainer, and keep looking for the history happening all around you.